Friends, I got married at 17 years old. Brandon and I have been a couple since I was only 14 years old, and we are coming up on nearly 20 years of marriage. So let's talk today about my top tips for nurturing a Christian marriage. I'm Heidi with Heavenly Minded Home, and welcome back to our channel. I love sharing with you guys in these daily videos as we cover all the homey things. So from homemaking to homeschooling, home discipleship to homesteading, all with an eternal heavenly minded perspective. Marriage is so amazing. It is one of God's greatest gifts and blessings, but in this fallen, broken world, that is not what we see oftentimes in marriage. I know most of us probably come from a broken home. Maybe you are not in a thriving marriage right now, but that doesn't mean that we can't pause and look and say, how do we prioritize our spouse? How do we nurture a Christian marriage? Maybe our marriage doesn't look great right now, but we desire it to. We want to have a lovely, beautiful, God-honoring marriage. And I will say that our marriage did not get here overnight, and we still have plenty of struggles. Unfortunately, I married a sinful human being, and unfortunate for him, he did too. We both are, and we both need the Lord's grace in all that we do. And so these are the things that we implement to try to help nurture our marriage, to make it a priority and to truly build it up. We're not perfect. We've come a long way. It's been a big topic. We've had plenty of struggles and hardships. I would say the first decade of marriage even was quite the struggle, especially as I truly grew in my relationship with the Lord and my husband did not. When you're dealing with a spouse who isn't living for the Lord, it can be really, really difficult. And if you guys have more questions, you would like to know more about how we did it and more of our testimony of how the Lord has worked through our marriage, leave me a comment down below. Maybe leave a little couple emojis so that way we know that's what you guys are looking for, and we'd be more than happy to share on that if it can be something that can encourage and equip you in your household. Let me go check on some kiddos, and then let's talk about these top tips to really start prioritizing your spouse and nurturing a Christian marriage. Now, the first thing here that is so incredibly important when we want to nurture a Christian marriage is to cultivate a heart of love and respect. It's so important to understand this difference here, that men need that line of respect. As women, we desire that layer of love. And the more I respect him, the more loving he responds. The more, respectful than I become, the more loving he becomes, right? It all just kind of works together in God's perfect harmony. Let's look here at Ephesians 5:33. So again, I say, each man must love his wife as he loves himself, and the wife must respect her husband. This is so incredibly important. And so little things that we can do to help foster and encourage that love and respect would be things like truly showing him respect. Asking yourself this, do I respect my husband's actions, my husband's words? I'm not saying that we just go along with anything he says just to, be going along with what he says, but truly, do you respect him? Do you show him that respect, and do you feel that respect? What about little things you can do to show that love and affection? Do you sit by him, right? Something so small as that when you go to sit down, whether it's out somewhere or at home, do you choose to come sit next to him? Do you maybe scooch the kids over so that way you guys can sit together on the couch? Little things like that are really, really important, and I don't think we should forget those. I know in our house, we have a couch that is for me and my husband. That is where we sit, and we have our spots, and that's where we sit. We hold hands often. We want to nurture that love and that respect. I need to show my husband respect. He needs that, just like I want to feel loved. And so remembering that and really cultivating this heart of love and respect is really, really important in our marriage. The second tip here to nurture a Christian marriage that's so incredibly important is to communicate openly and kindly. Let's look at Ephesians 4:29, where it says, "Don't use foul or abusive language. Let everything you say be good and helpful, so that your words will be an encouragement to those who hear them. Really let that sink in. The words you speak to your husband, could you categorize them as good and helpful? Does he feel more encouraged after talking with you? Or are you nagging? Are you pestering? Do you just steamroll him in everything that he says, or, that he's trying to do? You just kind of like roll over everything. Or are you just so quiet that you don't even stand your ground on anything, and you kind of just let everything go, whatever it may be? You don't want to just, there's that balance of, I don't just lay here like a doormat and let him just do whatever and say whatever. But yes, I submit to him, and I want my words to be kind, to be encouraging, to be things that are helpful. And so we have to remember this in our words. He should be your number one human relationship. So think about that. Today, who have you talked to? Did most of your words go to your husband? Is that who you go to when you have something to share, you have a problem, you have a question, you have something? Do you guys go to one another, or do you constantly run and take your words elsewhere? Were your words good? Were they kind? Were they encouraging? Were they uplifting? Were they filled with love? We want to speak kindly, and we want to be encouraging, even when the hard times arise. Do you check in on him throughout the day? Hey, hun, just thinking of you. How are you? Do you go to greet him when he gets home? Oh my goodness, you're home. Hi, honey. I love you so much. How are you? How was your day? Do you filter encouraging words into him day in and day out? These things are really, really important. And if he's to be your number one human relationship, that should show. It should show with the love and respect that you guys exhibit. It should show with your words. The fact that they go to him, and the types of words that they are. You're not just laying there like a doormat and not standing for truth when that needs to happen. Of course, we want to do that. We submit to the Lord before all. But we are not nagging. We're not steamrolling him. We're not discrediting him. We're lifting him up and encouraging him. He is your best friend, and it shows. That's important. The third piece here is that you truly support and encourage his leadership. Let's look at the scriptures here, right? 1 Corinthians 11, verse 3. But there is one thing I want you to know. The head of every man is Christ. The head of woman is man, and the head of Christ is God. There's an order. There's a system. If you're curious, you have questions, come and join us for our biblical womanhood study. We dug into biblical submission. We're looking at this. What exactly does it say, right? How exactly does it work? I'll leave a link down below if you guys want to come and join us. But it is very important that we do support and encourage his leadership. Things like asking his opinion. Honey, what do you think we should do? And maybe men, most often, unfortunately, due to the world and feminism and all the things, a lot of times now men are just way too laid back. They don't really assert themselves in any way, but that doesn't mean that you don't still encourage him to do so, because that is his role. Ask him his opinion. Go to him for direction. Hey, hun, I was thinking of doing this. Should we do this or should we do that? What do you think, right? And then take that 2 cents that he has and do it. Listen to his responses. In our home, the kids know. I kind of stay down here to my pay grade. Anything over that, you go talk to your dad. That's between you and him. Whatever he says is okay, then we're going with that, right? I might, kind of do some of these things over here, and then I go, hey, hun, I want to do this. Is this okay? I know for my husband, I am a high energy person, as we figured out in our Q&A this past week. You guys can watch it right up here if you want to go see what I'm talking about. And I'm a go, 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 go all the time. That is not my husband's favorite thing in the whole wide world. And so I have to listen to his direction when I hit the point and he goes, okay, guess what? too many Heidi projects. That's what we call them in our house. And he goes, it's time. We're going to scale back a little bit. Okay. We need to calm down a little bit here. And he brings in that balance and restores that order in our home. And I have to lovingly submit to that and know that he's doing that in the best interest of me, who he has to answer to the Lord for, and his headship here in our family, and for our children and our overall family as a whole. So he has to do that. And it's my job to respect that, to submit to that, and to really encourage and support him in his leadership roles. Now, does that mean he gets it right all the time? No, he doesn't. But it's my job to support and encourage him in that, and to submit to those, and to trust the Lord above all. And that's the big key to submission, friends. But support and encourage his leadership. It can be in little tiny ways, from simple things at home. What do you want for dinner? Kind of helping him to start to stand firmly and make some decisions if that's something he struggles with. But your support and your encouragement in his leading your family, it goes a long way. The fourth tip here, friends, and do not overlook this one, is if you want to nurture a Christian marriage, you want to truly prioritize your spouse, you need to make sure that you are prioritizing quality time and intimacy. This is the only human relationship in which we have in our entire lives that this layer of intimacy exists. That means it's pretty important, and we should take note. Let's look at 1 Corinthians chapter 7. Let's read verses 3 through 5. The husband should fulfill his wife's needs, and the wife should fulfill her husband's. The wife gives authority over her body to her husband, and the husband gives authority over his body to the wife. It is mutual submission to one another, friends. Do not deprive each other of relations unless you both agree to refrain from intimacy for a limited time, so that you can give yourselves more completely to prayer. That's the so that, okay? So if you're doing that, it's because we both agreed, and this is our reasoning for such. But look at the warning here. Afterward, you should come together again, so that Satan won't be able to tempt you because of your lack of self-control. Let's not open up those doors. Let's not deprive our spouse. Let's not cause an issue and give Satan a foothold in something that he should have no place in. We want to make sure that intimacy and that quality time together is truly a priority on both parts in our marriage. Little things that you can do, like dressing for him. Have you ever asked your husband, what do you like for me to wear? Is there something that you like, something that you don't like, right? Is there some old ratty pair of sweats that I'm always pulling on that just make you nuts? You do not like them. Hey, I need to get rid of those. Is there something that I could wear more often that you would enjoy? I've shared with you all before. That's why I started wearing dresses. My husband and I have been together for a bajillion years, and he always wished I would wear more dresses. And I was like, nope, jeans and t-shirt gal, sorry, no thanks. I finally started doing it, and guess what? I'm a lot more comfortable. It's a lot simpler. I look really put together, and it takes no effort on my part, and I have a really happy husband. That's a win for me. I wear dresses all the time now. Asking him, what are those things that you like? He likes when my hair's longer. He likes when I maybe wear some makeup, but not a lot of makeup. He really likes when I keep my nails caught up. That's something that's really important to him. There's different things that I do, different things that I prioritize because I know they matter to him. And so therefore, they matter to me. Having these conversations and responding in these ways is really, really helpful for truly cultivating and showing our husband that I'm the one you get. You get me, right? That's it. You get nobody else in this life. You get me. I want you to look forward to our time together. I want you to look at me and think that I'm pretty and think that you're the luckiest guy in the whole wide world because you have me, right? Like, I know I'm not perfect, but I still want you to be excited and like me. And so what are things that I can do? And it works both ways. We do this together, but the more that you're there and you're willing and you're available, it really makes such a big difference. Don't neglect him. Right? You think of that, date your spouse. And while I don't like the idea of that because with dating, we don't want to get into all of that, but I want to still nurture that. I think of how I used to get, dressed up if we were going to go out together. Before he came over, I'd make sure, I wasn't in my ratty old nasty sweats anymore, and I'd, throw something cute on, different little things that I did because I was excited to see him and I wanted him to feel that way and to share that. There's so much that we can learn from there to kind of keep that spark going and really nurture this area of our marriage. Hey friends, quick pause, quick PSA. One of the things that my husband really loves is when I take care of my nails. He likes that. He enjoys that bit of femininity and kind of just feeling a little put together. Not super made up and fake, but put together. Something I've really struggled with is my nail health. I don't know if it was from nursing our youngest kiddo till she was 3 years old, but my hormones tanked and I've worked really hard with diet to regulate myself, which has been wonderful. It's been great, but my nails have still struggled. Insert rocket fuel. I saw the stuff, their ads are everywhere, and I wasn't sure if it was true, but I went ahead, I bit the bullet, and I tried it out. Friends, it is worth every single penny. I love this stuff. My nails are growing so fast. They're so thick, so strong. I'm not dealing with breakage. Their nail polish, like the actual colors, they last me a week with like no chipping. I am amazed at how well this stuff works, and that's why I'm sharing it with you guys, because I am so stunned at how well it works. So if you guys are looking for something to kind of take care of your nails, whether you're like me and you were needing to fix something, or you just like being able to keep up on your nails, a little something to make you feel a little more put together, check out the Rocket Fuel system. I'll leave my special discount code down in the description so that way you guys can save as well. But the stuff, totally worth it. I'm obsessed. It works so well. So anyways, had to share with you. My hubby likes my nails being done. I like keeping up on it without spending a fortune, but using stuff that works, and this stuff works. All right, back to the video. Last but not least, friends, the fifth tip here is to pray constantly and seek God's guidance in your marriage. Let's go to 1 Peter chapter 3. I love this. I remember the first time I read through this when reading my Bible cover to cover, and it was like a light bulb, because at the time, my husband wasn't walking with the Lord. He might have professed to be a believer, but he wasn't living like one. And this was huge. Chapter 3, it says, in the same way, you wives must accept the authority of your husbands. Must. There's no asterisk, like maybe if you like it. Must accept. Then, even if some refuse to obey the good news, your godly lives will speak to them without any words. They will be won over by observing your pure and reverent lives. Our lives, our walk with the Lord, it's not that we just run our mouths so much that we wear them down and they go, fine, I give in. What is it? I'll follow Jesus. Like, what do you need? No. Without speaking a word, simply by our conduct, our love for the Lord, and our standing firm in truth and living this out day in and day out can truly win over an unbelieving spouse. It can. We trust the Lord for that. Now, praying for our husbands, seeking God's guidance, going to scripture to conform us, to guide us, to lead us, and apply that in our lives. This is huge to create a godly marriage. There is nothing more beautiful than marriage. Godly marriage. The Lord created this, and He created it for us to see this image of His relationship with us. There's something so special and so wonderful, and I know we live in a sinful, fallen world that does not see marriage in this way. I get it. It's difficult, but it doesn't mean that we neglect these things. God's truth, His guidance, and prayer always. Friends, we should be the #1 prayer warriors here for our husbands. Do not neglect your duty in this partnership of marriage to be praying for them, to be praying together, to make prayer and God's guidance and scripture and all of this a basis. And when our husband sees this, right, when he sees that we're, there, hey, honey, I'm praying for you. How's your day going? We're checking in, we're asking, we're following up. Honey, I know that you're really struggling with this at work or this in your own personal life, your walk with the Lord. And I've been praying for that. How are you doing? Are you feeling any better? My husband struggles with chronic depression. This is something that we deal with all the time, and it's difficult, and we go through very dark periods. I promise you it is not easy. But being in prayer for him, seeing when maybe he's in an attack and he's really struggling, and going to prayer, being his prayer warrior, checking in on him. Hey honey, how are you feeling today? How are you really feeling? Because I know you've been struggling and I've been praying. Is there something I can do? Is there something I can help with? Is there something specific that I can be praying for? Being there for him and continuously seeking God's guidance and how best to serve our husbands is so important. We want to do the little things, right? I want to hold hands. I want to sit by him. I want to ask him his opinion and what he thinks, what he wants. I want to listen and respond to what he says. I want to do these little things to make sure that everybody sees that he's my number one, right? The kids know as soon as dad comes in, I'm going to walk right over and I'm going to give him a kiss, right? I'm going to give him a big hug. We go up and, just kind of show each other affection throughout the day. And the kids go, ew, and then it's great because then I give them an even bigger kiss, right? Because that's what they should see. They should see mom prioritizing dad and dad looking forward to coming and seeing mom, because that's cultivating the truth in them. But even deeper than all of that is my prayer for him, is my love of the Lord and trusting in God's guidance for all that we need in our marriage. And I know it can be difficult, especially when you got little ones, you're going through a trying season in life. Maybe your marriage is a little rocky right now, and that can be difficult. I get it. I promise you. But when we apply these things here, it makes a big difference. So don't give up. Keep praying, keep going, keep showing him love. Sometimes that means we turn the other cheek and we go, the Lord will take care of it. I'm just going to trust in him, right? Sometimes it means we put our foot down and we go, no, I'm following the Lord. I love you so much, but this is my line. We keep going. We keep trusting and we keep loving, because marriage is beautiful, because God created it. And so do I want my marriage to grow and be blessed? And do I want to cultivate this relationship with my number one human being on the earth? Absolutely. I'm going to do the little things to do that, but I'm also going to rely on these deeper, bigger things to build a solid foundation for our marriage. Friends, I hope these simple kind of tips and tricks, kind of things to really take to prayer and think on, really start implementing in your home, can be a help for you in your marriage, that they can really help you to prioritize your spouse and cultivate and nurture this beautiful, godly marriage. Marriage is difficult. There's nothing easy about it. And guess what? I know that the odds are against us. I know that this world hates marriage. It hates godly homes. I know, we can see it everywhere, but that doesn't mean we give up. We keep pressing on. We keep trusting in the Lord. And are there some things that just don't go well? Absolutely. Is there abuse? Is there misuse? Is there all of that? Yes. And we seek the help that we need to when we run into these situations, but our goal should always be for reconciliation, should always be for a renewed life in Christ with one another here in this life, as we can see marriage as such a beautiful image of God's relationship with us. And what a blessing it is to be able to show our children what marriage can be. We don't have to follow the ways of the Lord. We don't have to do the way everybody else is doing it, even many within the church today. We can prioritize marriage. I can lovingly submit to my husband's authority because I'm submitting to the Lord in his system. I can trust my husband. I can go to him and say, hon, what do you think? What do you want me to do? Do you feel okay with this? Do you like how I'm dressing? Do you like where I'm spending my time? Are you happy with where I'm spending the money? What are your thoughts? And then really listen to what he has to say. You can prioritize that quality time and that intimacy. Make sure you're giving him lots of kisses each day. Send him sweet little text messages. Make sure that your intimate time together is something that is a priority for you and your husband. These little things really do make such a difference, and helping to be these little foundational building blocks of a quality, lovely, strong, godly marriage that I think, quite honestly, we all really want to have. So hopefully this can be a help for you in your marriage today. Maybe you can surprise your husband tonight. You'd be dressed up a little bit, greet him at the door, have his favorite dinner made, and maybe a little special date time tonight after the kiddos go to bed. If you guys have a specific marriage question though, honestly, leave me a comment down below. Put a little couple emoji next to it, so that way when we're doing our weekly Q&As, or all next month, we're doing September show and tell, where I'm going to be answering your guys' questions and showing you quite literally how we do these different things. Leave me a comment down below and we'd be happy to get to that. Praying that this can be a blessing to you and your hubby, your family, your legacy for the Lord here today. I'll see you all right back here tomorrow in that video. So be sure to subscribe and turn on those little bell notifications so you don't miss it. And I'll leave you with the video that I think you'll enjoy. Bye, friends.